Okay, hi everybody, and welcome to Family Support Series Prepping for Family Weekend. We are just about a week out from Family Weekend as of tomorrow, which is crazy and exciting. Thank you all for attending tonight, and a couple of reminders for as Dalen said, closed captioning is available if that's something that you want for this event. There's also the Q&A function, which is how we're going to ask you all to ask us your questions. So instead of using the chat, go ahead and use the Q&A, which will also appear on that bottom bar throughout the PowerPoint slides that we're going to show you. And then at the end, we'll be happy to answer any questions that might pop up. And yeah, so I will start off a round of introductions. My name is Annabelle Spencer. I use she, her pronouns, and I am the graduate assistant for family programs.
I can go next real quick. Hello, everybody. My name is Mackenzie Nelson. I use she, her pronouns, and I am the Assistant Director of Family Programs.
And good evening, everyone. My name is Dalen Orlick. I use he, him as pronouns. I'm the Associate Director of Family Programs, and we are all very, very excited, not just to have you here, but to also be welcoming you a week from now for our Family Weekend, which is our 20th year of Family Weekend activities. So really, really excited to be able to host y'all, but I will let Annabelle do her thing and talk about it with you all.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and start the presentation. There is another round of introductions included in the slides that are loading. Let's see, because we also have with us this year our amazing family coordinator named Kara. So she's not here tonight, but you will see her on Family Weekend. So yeah, this is your team, the family team. We are primarily responsible for everything during Family Weekend. So if you ever have a question and you happen to recognize a familiar face, we will absolutely have the answers. Let's see. Okay, so first thing that I want to cover is that accessibility piece. So it's important for anybody who needs ADA parking, as long as you have that decal in your car or the ADA license plate, so long as you display that and you have your Family Weekend parking pass, you'll be able to park in any ADA spot on George Mason campus during the entire weekend, which is really great because that will get you better access to buildings and all of that. The parking pass, which we'll go over later, is something that's emailed to you, and it's also on our website. So that is that. And then accessible seating is also available for every event, including Mason Madness, which is in Eagle Bank. So make sure to ask for that if that's something that would be a good accommodation for you. It's available, and we can certainly get that for you. Shuttles for the Fall Festival on Saturday, those are also ADA accessible, so you won't have to navigate yourself. You can just take the shuttle from campus. And then if you or a family member is in need of sensory accommodations, like a quiet room or something of that nature, speak to us when you're on campus that weekend, or even drop a question in the chat, and we'll work with you to make sure that whichever family member is comfortable at some of our louder or more overstimulating events. Before you come to visit, this is a good slide to take a picture of for later. This, you will need to print out your parking pass, like I mentioned before, and this is available on our Mason Families website, but it is also going to be emailed to you in your 7-day reminder. So don't delete that email before you read it. It is linked in there. You can download it and print it, and just put it on your dashboard, and you'll be good to go. Also, make sure to pack comfortable shoes, umbrellas in case of weather. Luckily, our events are primarily indoors, except for the Fairfax Fall Festival. So events won't really need a rain location, but when you're walking across campus, if it happens to drizzle or have a bit of a downpour, an umbrella, a poncho, a rain jacket, something of that nature would be smart. Sunscreen and other things just to make sure that you're physically comfortable across the weekend. And then just another reminder to check your confirmation email. This is what was sent to you when you first registered for Family Weekend, and it tells you every single thing, how many tickets that you purchased, and then which events you may have added on to that original purchase, just so you remind yourself which things you're already set to do. If you haven't already, and you might need a hotel, important to note our partnership with Marriott. This code G57 will get you special rates and all of that. So look up these places. They're close to campus. If you haven't solidified a place to stay, this is definitely something that you should take advantage of, because not everybody gets the special Mason family price. So here we're going to jump into more of what to expect once you arrive on campus. You've printed out your parking pass, you've gotten a campus map, you have your hotel, you're all ready to go. Now it's time to check in. And so check-in is where you're going to receive your Family Weekend t-shirts, your family mug, your wristbands. Your wristbands are the most important thing. The other things are really cute and fun, but the wristband is what's going to get you into all the events. We're going to have staff all across campus recognizing these wristbands. It's what'll get you into our athletic facilities for free. So make sure once you get it, don't cut it off until the end of the weekend. You have two options for check-in. If you arrive in time to check in on Friday, that will be from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. in Dewberry Lobby. So if you want to check in before you head to Mason Madness or before any of our other events that night, before our Family Weekend Welcome that starts at 3 and our faculty spotlights, it's super conveniently located in the Johnson Center Dewberry Lobby, right by the Starbucks. So that's also convenient. There will also be a check-in session Saturday morning. So if you don't arrive on Friday and you're coming on Saturday, you can go to the hub. And this is the other primary location of a lot of our events throughout the weekend. So we're not having you trek all across campus just to check in. The Saturday check-in is going to be from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. And you can still get all of your goodies and your wristband if you weren't able to make it for Friday. So no stress on that. The way this is going to work is that there's going to be lines based on the last name of the person who registered. So if you registered or your student registered or grandma registered, whoever's last name that is who it's going to be listed under. If you don't remember who did it or there's a miscommunication there, we can look it up in alternate ways, but that's primarily the way that it's going to be organized. There is also walk-in registration available for anybody who hasn't bought tickets or who may need to purchase additional tickets for the weekend. Now we get into our schedule overview of all of our super fun events. Friday, just a reminder of the check-in time, 11 to 7. The Family Weekend Welcome, like I just mentioned, happens right behind the check-in in Dewberry Hall. Check-in is in Dewberry Lobby. Family Weekend Welcome and faculty spotlights are in Dewberry Hall, so you won't have to go anywhere. There's going to be refreshments, and it's an official kickoff of Family Weekend. You're going to be hearing from admin and higher ups at George Mason who are just so excited to welcome you for the weekend and really kick it off. And then seamlessly, we're going to transition into faculty spotlights. We have 3 amazing Mason faculty members, including Mary Ellen O'Toole, who used to work in the FBI Behavioral Analysis Unit that inspired the show Criminal Minds. And we have someone who's working on lighter than air blimps and robotics and AI and all of those things. So those 3 sessions until 5:30, expect to be wowed because they're pretty amazing. Also on Friday, we have a Super Smash Bros. Table tennis and cornhole tournament. This is going to be in the Hub Corner Pocket from 4 to 8 p.m. Kind of come and go as you please. You don't have to stay for the whole thing, but you're more than welcome to. We also have women's volleyball. These tickets are free, which is exciting. That'll be a game 6 to 8 in our RAC, the Recreation Athletic Complex on campus. We also have a couple of Fall for the Book events. This is a partnership with the community that really focuses on literacy and reading and books. And so our first one is Mind-Bending Stories with Ruth Joffrey. And that is happening on campus in the Fenwick Library. We also have a Shabbat dinner with Mason Hillel for any of our Jewish families who want to have dinner all together with our student organization from 6 to 9 p.m. back in the Johnson Center. Mason Madness is our free event in Eagle Bank Arena that is a kickoff to basketball season. So this is where they do scrimmages and trick shots, and there's lights and all kinds of fun. The Green Machine will be there. It's a great time, and it's open to all of you, and it's free. Our last event for the night is another Fall for the Book. It's A Life in Books and Film with Nick Hornby. And so this one is actually in Fairfax City. It's not hosted on campus, but if you go and click on our website and do a little searching and see that this is something that you want to do, it's not a far distance and could be a great time. So that's
I just want to add one thing surrounding Mason Madness. Eagle Bank Arena now has a new bag policy. So please bring like a smaller bag or a clear and transparent bag, similar to the local area sporting events. If you were to go to a baseball game, basketball game, whatever, this is a new policy that's been implemented by Eagle Bank Arena. And just to be safe, even if it has not been fully implemented, we just want to make sure that you're able to bring your bags in. So make sure that you're just bringing a small bag to that venue or a clear and transparent bag to that venue to be able to bring goodies into Mason Madness. Just wanted to make sure that everyone here and who's watching the recording gets that information ahead of time.
No, thank you so much for that. That is super important because you don't want to have to take everything back to your car. That would not be fun. That pretty much wraps up our Friday overview. Moving on to Saturday, for those of you who aren't able to make it to Friday check-in, like I mentioned earlier, that'll be available for you in the hub, where you can get your wristband and all of the fun things as well. We also have our Mason Nation Thriving Together 5K, which is happening around Patriot Circle. So if any of you are familiar, you kind of know the route. That'll be from 8 to 11 a.m. Great Falls Hike, Gunston Hall, and Historic Fairfax Tours. So these were add-ons to your registration that had an extra cost to them. Limited availability. Currently, they are full, but if you signed up to these, they'll all be leaving around the same time, and they'll all be leaving from the hub. So the same location that Saturday check-in is, these tours are also leaving. And so the time frame is between 8:30 to 12 p.m. The group will be split into separate timed tours within that window. So you may not leave at 8:30, but you will definitely be back by 12. So yes, that is super exciting. You'll also have some students and pro staff from Mason that are joining you on these tours. So if you have any campus specific questions or concerns or anything like that, you will have Mason representation with you on our Mason on location tours, which is fun. Then we have another Fairfax City event, Craft Hour, from 10 to 11 in the Old Town Hall. Success Coaching is hosting a Patriot Families version of a coaching like demonstration where you can actually be trained as a success coach so that you can better support your children, your students, and in their studies and everything like that. So they're going to be giving you their tips and tricks and how they do what they do with your students and how they coach them during the semester, and how you can translate to that as their supporter and their family member. So that is super exciting. Also happening in the hub in our meeting rooms from 11 to 1. Then we have our observatory and partial eclipse event. This, we got super lucky. We're having a partial solar eclipse over the weekend. And so that is actually going to be visible through telescopes, thanks to our College of Science. They are hosting this event on the roof of our parking deck. So you'll be able to go there. They have some eclipse glasses and all of the good things that are set up for you. And then we're going to be running timed tours of our observatory, which is just across the street. So this will be really great. If any of you have come to Family Weekend in the past, you'll remember that the observatory tours were part of Mason by Moonlight. So we're not losing Mason by Moonlight. We're just giving the observatory its own time to shine, and also looping in a partial solar eclipse. Another big event on Saturday is the Fairfax Fall Festival from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. This is off campus, but like I mentioned at the beginning, there's going to be shuttles that are running from campus to the Fall Festival. So they're running from Rappahannock Deck, and you'll just be able to wait there until the next shuttle comes by, and they'll be running continuously. They are ADA accessible again. And this is just the easiest way, so you don't have to deal with parking and traffic or walking and all of that. The blood drive is also going to be happening through Inova in the hub from 12 to 5. If you haven't signed up already, the sign up link is on our website. So that's just a really great way to give back to the community while you're on campus. And before our Mason Families Give Back event, which is our larger, more encompassing service event. And so this from 1 to 3 in the hub is going to have a couple of different activities within it. Some of it is going to be making dog toys for a local shelter. There's going to be a donation portion. So if you have hygienic or sanitary items like toilet paper or toothbrushes and things of that nature, or if you have non-perishable food, cans, things like that, to donate to our Patriot Pantry, that'll also be part of this. And then our greenhouse and gardens with the food forest and the Patriot, or the President's Park greenhouse, is also a volunteer opportunity looped into Mason Families Give Back. So you can get your farm on and give back to your Mason community. Another free women's volleyball game is going to be happening on Saturday, which is exciting, from 2 to 4 in the Recreation Athletic Complex. One of my personal favorite events is the Carter School Family Feud. We're still petitioning for them to all wear mustaches like Steve Harvey. I think it would be fun if you all showed up dressed like Steve Harvey. That's going to be happening from 2 to 4 in the hub as well. And then pickleball with Mason Rec. So if you want to make a family team, or if some dads want to get together from different groups and you make friends over Family Weekend and you want to just, beat everyone at pickleball, sign up for the pickleball tournament. I think this is new. We have new pickleball courts on campus, and so this is a really exciting way to put them to use. More on Saturday, we've got Mason's Got Talent. This is another one of those added ticket events. So if you haven't purchased tickets for Mason's Got Talent, there are going to be some that are available for you to purchase on site the day of. Not a ton, but if that's something that you're interested, I would definitely ask and show up, because there are spots that are left to be purchase. This is a dinner and a show, and so we've got lots of student performers that are really excited to perform for you all, and we're going to be able to give out monetary prizes, and we have judges, and it's just very exciting. So definitely put that on your radar if it isn't already. We have another Fall for the Book event, Breaking the Mold with Marlon James, and this is happening in the Johnson Center. It's actually going to be a screening rather than something that's centered just on books. It's more of a film event, which is fun. Men's soccer athletics is double awesome because they're knocking those ticket prices down to $5 for us on Saturday night, 7 to 9:30 p.m. at the stadium. So if that's something that you're interested in. We've also got Masons by Moonlight that night, which is what I mentioned prior. This year, the observatory has its own light to shine in, and so they won't be a part of Masons by Moonlight. However, it is going to be just as fun. You will have one complimentary adult beverage ticket per 21 and older adult. There's also going to be desserts and popcorn and tours of the art gallery. The College of Engineering is going to have activities with their wave pool and drones and all of that. And the Food Forest, the folks that are going to be leading volunteer opportunities during Saturday during the day, they're also going to be doing tours of the Food Forest. If you weren't able to participate during Mason Families Give Back, there's going to be a steel pan ensemble. It's just a little bit more sophisticated adult event when the sun goes down. So this is a fun night to have a drink, have a snack, a dessert, and also learn about some of our biggest colleges on campus and all of the really amazing things that they're doing academically and with students. We also have, closing out Saturday night, the Jazz for Justice concert. So this is going to be 8 to 10 p.m. Every year, these concerts go towards a specific philanthropy. And so if you want to read more about what they're raising money for and everything, it's always a great cause. There's always some kind of special musical tribute. So definitely go to our website and the Center for the Arts website if that's something that you're interested in. There is an extra cost with that, but it's for a good cause. Definitely something to think about, especially as this is another student showcase event. Sunday is where we're going to unfortunately have to say goodbye, but before we do, we have breakfast and bingo. And so first of all, this is where we're going to recognize our Family of the Year nominees and our Family of the Year winner, which is super exciting. We got more nominees this year than ever before, so hoping to do that again next year and maybe even increase. Wink, wink, apply. This is just a really special event also because we get to give out prizes. So you will be playing bingo. We have a partnership with IKEA. We've also gotten things from athletics and the bookstore just to put a really awesome group of prizes together for you all that you can win while you're eating breakfast and just lounging with your family before you have to say goodbye. One more athletics event, women's soccer, down to $5 a ticket for 5 to 7 p.m. for maybe some of our local families or those who maybe don't have to leave until Monday morning. This might be something that you want to do, and you get the special family weekend discount. So that is fun. Yes, so check in for tours, Mason's Got Talent, and breakfast and bingo. I've already sort of mentioned this, but I'll reiterate again. These are the only 3 events that are including the tours. There's 3 different tours, but these are the only events that require pre-registration and they require tickets. Everything else is come and go as you please. You don't have to be on a list. You just have to be wearing your wristband. If you did not already purchase tickets for Mason's Got Talent and breakfast and bingo, like I mentioned earlier, there may be some available on the day of. We take Visa and MasterCard. Those things will be available for you. So if you haven't bought those tickets, definitely look and see if that's something that you're interested in. Let's see. And yeah, so for other questions, if you come with questions after tonight, visit our FAQ page, our detailed schedule of events. We have maps of campus for parking and navigation, and our parking passes also on the website. So you will be able to find things outside of this event. But for now, let's answer any questions we might have now. So if you haven't put anything in the Q&A, but you've been sitting on a question, feel free to just put it in the Q&A and we can answer it live. I also just want to remind everyone that this will be recorded. We'll post it on our YouTube channel, and then we'll post it in the Mason Family Connection as well. So you can revisit this over the next week if you have anything you need to clarify. Dalen or Mackenzie, is there anything that we want to speak on or add, or is there a question that we think maybe the group would benefit from?
Not off the top of mind. I think the biggest thing that I just want to reiterate is, whether or not you have extra guests that are attending, or you want to see whether or not there's things that are available for additional purchase for like our breakfast and bingo event. We will be taking that on-site registration for you, so you don't need to register ahead of time. If you are joining this call, it is most likely because you've already registered ahead of time for family weekend. But if your student or your student's friends have family members that didn't register, but they're like, hey, I want to come through, we will be doing on site. Everyone will still get their t-shirts, and we will have extra mugs for those people that are walking in. So definitely encourage that. I do want to take some time to go through some of the questions that are now coming into the Q&A, and I appreciate all of you sending these in, because I think it's really helpful for people that might have similar questions. And as things are popping up for you as we're going through some of these, please don't hesitate to keep using the Q&A. So the first question would be, would I be able to meet with someone from housing on Friday? How would I make an appointment? So we do have a 24-hour desk that is open in Eisenhower, which is over in President's Park. If you want to speak to somebody specifically within housing, I would recommend your student reaching out to their community director or resident director to be able to meet with them individually and seeing whether or not they have availability on Friday. That needs to be student driven. Unless you have like a FERPA form on file, Housing and Residence Life will not give you information surrounding your student's residential room or any conflict issues. It's a federal law that we have to abide by. So I highly, highly, highly recommend that that is driven by your student and not necessarily you just showing up to the desk and asking to speak to someone about your student's residential setting, because they will say that they will not be able to provide that information to you unless you have a FERPA form on file. So I just want to make sure that is emphasized. There was originally a tailgating event. Yes, there was. That was hosted by student involvement. Unfortunately, this year, just due to capacity, we were unable to have that event happen. And so we have removed that from our schedule. So there will be no tailgate for Mason Madness. But there are other events that are taking place on Friday for you to be able to attend and participate in prior to Mason Madness. If you were originally planning on showing up for the tailgate time, you now have extra time in your evening. We'll be doing check-in all the way up until when Mason Madness starts, which is 7 p.m. So please feel free to show up if you wanted to later or closer to when that Mason Madness time is, so that you don't need to show up at 3 o'clock for the tailgate. But there are some other events to help subsidize that. Parking pass, is it free? Yep, we pay for your parking for the entire weekend. So all you need to do is download the parking pass, which I've dropped in the chat for you. And then additionally, it is going to be in the email we send everybody tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. And then from there, you can download it, print it, and put it in your car. And then you'll be able to park in Lot K or the first 2 levels of Rappahannock parking deck. Those are the only places you will get free parking. If you park anywhere else on campus, you will get a ticket. So I'm emphasizing this now of please park in Lot K. We will have signage out front of Lot K indicating where it is. And then we will also have signage out front of Rappahannock parking deck for you to know where that is. Do not park in visitor parking. They will charge you, and do not park in any of the other like parking lot areas or parking decks you will receive a ticket, or you'll have to pay for your parking for the day, which we're trying to save you $20 a day. So park in those areas. It is all pretty convenient to where all of our events are taking place through the weekend. So the question is, one of my adult children decided he wanted to fly in on Thursday. Can I pre-order? I assume you were talking about pre-ordering your ticket. The answer is no. Registration through our portal is closed. However, again, I want to encourage you all, if you have other guests that are planning on attending that you didn't originally purchase tickets for, we will be taking on-site payments for them to get access passes, and their t-shirt and everything else. The only things that might be more challenging for you is if you purchase tickets to like a off-campus tour, so like one of our bus tours, we do not currently have space. They are sold out. So they might not be able to join you on that tour unless, you know, people weren't to show up or anything along those lines. So that is something I want you to be mindful of. But for the general admission ticket to access everything else throughout the weekend, yes, 100% they can purchase a ticket on site. There's going to be no issue. It's no additional charge to register on site as it was through the form. It's just a way to make sure that we have an accurate number of total number of attendees for the weekend. Your students will need a GMU, your students will need a wristband for family weekend. They cannot just randomly show up to events. Those indicate that they have been pre-registered for family weekend. That's how we figure out how many people we're anticipating for the entire weekend. And you all, including your student, will need to wear their family weekend wristband the entirety of the weekend to access our programming. It's just so we know who's attending our programs and making sure that, you know, for safety and security reasons that we know who's in attendance, based off of, you know, just by knowing your wristband is there. People will only be receiving them at check-in. However, if you are checking in and your student is not with you, do not fear. We will still give you your student's wristband so that you can get it to them. They just need to be wearing it when they're showing up to events with you. Otherwise, they won't be able to just like randomly pop in to Mason's Got Talent or randomly pop in to Mason by Moonlight or anything like that. We want to make sure that the people that are attending the programs that we're hosting are attendees of Family Weekend.
I also will say you don't have to pay for your student. So if maybe you forgot to say on the form that my student will also be going to these events with me, like the Fairfax Fall Festival or any of our general things, there's no charge. You didn't have to pay for a Mason student ticket. So if you come on the day of check-in and you say, oh my gosh, I forgot to say that my student, I forgot to register my student, we just make a note of that and we give you another wristband. So you don't have to pay for their registration.
Furthermore, I'm seeing some questions of like, if my student does not have family attending but wants to come join us for our events, bring them to check in with you. We will register them on site for free. We just want to make sure that we have their name as a part of our guest list and our attendee list, and they will be able to attend the general admissions events. Again, I'll reemphasize this. If they are going to go to the tours, Mason's Got Talent, or Breakfast and Bingo, we still charge for students for those events specifically. All the general admissions events and stuff like that are totally free for your student, but just because we're providing food and a lot of other things during Mason's Got Talent and Breakfast and Bingo, and we have a specific head count that we're able to offer in those spaces, we wanted to make sure, I want to make sure that you all are aware that your student will still need to be paid for, or a student will have to pay for those events. But every other event that is happening on campus, other than the tours and Mason's Got Talent and Breakfast and Bingo, are free and open and available for all of your students and their friends. They just need to make sure that they get registered with us so we know how many people are attending Family Weekend.
And that whole the rule about if your student doesn't come with you to check in, that's fine. That applies to your group as a whole. So I see a question in here that's talking about some of my group is arriving on Saturday, but I will get there on Friday. If you come on Friday, we will give you the materials for your entire group. So you just have to be responsible for their wristbands, but they won't have to come and check in themselves on Saturday morning.
We have another question surrounding the new bag policy. Yes, that will be implemented, I believe, for Mason Madness. Even if it's not, we recommend being careful with your bag policy. That bag policy is a clear bag policy or a tiny little little crossbody or something like that that you can't really fit a lot of items into, just for security and safety. And so that is going to be in effect, I believe, for Mason Madness, according to athletics. So that is implemented by Eagle Bank Arena. So highly recommend that your family will have that part of your accommodation. Great question. I'm going to avoid questions surrounding selection for roommates. That doesn't take place till spring, and that's run through housing. That is a completely separate thing from family weekend.
However, we will have family support series that are surrounding housing. So make sure to have those questions ready and be on the lookout for when we host webinars that are with housing folks, and we can answer those then.
There's a question around policy on visits to your student's dorm during student and family weekend. So you are able to go to your student's residence hall should you want to. They just will need to tap into the building with you. And then from that point forward, they'll continue to tap through all the doors and then bring you up to their room. There's no check-in or you leave your ID with somebody or anything like that. Your student is able to bring you to their room if they would like to have you be in their room. If not, you are not just going to be randomly able to enter into buildings and go see your dorm room or anything like that. So there's a difference there. You can't just walk into random residence halls. But if you are with your student, they can tap you into the building and get you into the building and bring you to their room. They just will need to be with you because getting into the building is through their Mason ID cards. And that is how they are given access to the building. So just want to make sure that you all know that. There is no carnival in Eagle Bank Arena this year. We got rid of that. For handicap parking, if you have your handicap hang tag in your car, so it's the blue hang tag or any ADA parking visible hanger tag or whatever that looks like for you and your family, and our printed family weekend parking pass, you can park in any ADA space on campus close to the buildings that you need to go to. We encourage you to print out the family weekend pass solely so that parking and transportation is aware that you are attending family weekend, and you also have an accessibility need to enter our buildings and park there and so on and so forth. So make sure you have your hang tag and make sure you have our family weekend parking pass. Great question. Shuttles. So we will not be running shuttles between campus and the hotels. It is very, very expensive to run shuttles for 3 straight days, especially because we have programming starting at 11, if not earlier. Now it's 8 a.m. on Saturday for early check-in and our bus tours all the way through the evening when we're hosting it. And so if you are staying off-site at one of our hotels, that is why we also provide you the parking pass, so you get free parking on campus. You can always take an Uber. Additionally, we do have a free bus in the Fairfax area called the Q Bus. It may or may not pick up from around the hotels in which you may be staying in and get you to campus. So there are free public transportation options for you if you did not bring a car and are maybe flying into the university and are staying at one of the hotels. There are local buses that will get you to campus, but we will not be providing shuttles just because of the cost that is associated with it. it's just a lot of funds, to be very transparent with you all. Will there be shuttles on campus for intra-campus trips or only off campus? The only shuttles that are being offered and will be available are shuttles from downtown Fairfax to campus for the fall festival. That is it. And that is actually provided by Fairfax County and by Mason. So we are not coordinating any of those shuttles or doing any of those things. There is a normal shuttle that takes you from West Campus, which is where all the athletic fields are, into campus. So if you are going to the soccer games, for example, like the men's or women's soccer games, there is a shuttle bus that runs from West Campus into main campus. But other than that, I don't believe there are any like around the circle transportation things. What I will note for you all is Lot K is very close to the rack for the volleyball game. And then everything else is taking place kind of center to campus, and Lot K and Rappahannock decks will give you close access to being able to reach those. If you have mobility issues, or those types of things, there is a Patriot Lift system, but they only run 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. So that might not be an available option for you throughout the course of the weekend. So just want to also note that here. The final question is, does the bag policy apply to anything else like volleyball or soccer? So I don't believe so. The reason why I'm saying that is because the bag policy is implemented by Eagle Bank Arena, not Mason Athletics. So the soccer games, the volleyball games, those types of things that specifically run through Mason Athletics. But Eagle Bank Arena, the arena itself is the one implementing the bag policy. So I don't believe you will need to worry about the bag policy for the basketball or soccer games, or sorry, not basketball, the volleyball or soccer games over the weekend, but only for Mason Madness. Whew, I feel like I've been talking at y'all for like 20 minutes. Rapid fire. I love it. If there's any other questions, please feel free to put them in the chat, or not the chat, in the Q&A feature. Again, this will be recorded and has been recorded. Tomorrow, you will be receiving an email at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time from Mason Families with everything you need to know for a 1-week reminder. A lot of it is what we went over this evening. In addition, this recording will be up on our website, so you can find it there. And we link to that in this email that we'll be sending tomorrow morning. So be on the lookout. It is not a spam email. It's really getting you prepared for the weekend. The parking pass will also be included in that. So make sure you're reading it very carefully, and we'll make sure we get you all that information. Is there any concern about the free parking lots running out of space? No. No. The reason for it is because I and our team rent out the entire lot. So no random people other than attendees of Family Weekend will be parking in Lot K for the entirety of the weekend. If they are parking in Lot K and do not have the Family Weekend parking pass, they will be towed. And so, one, make sure you always have your parking pass in your car. But two, it is reserved specifically for you all as a Family Weekend attendees. So we got you covered for all of that. Great. I'm so glad. I hope this was helpful. Want to give just huge recognition to my team here, Annabelle and Mackenzie, for all their incredible work and coordinating this. I'm seeing more questions come in, so I will answer those just because we have some time. Campus resident and parks in Lot K, does he need to move his car for the weekend? Linda, yes, your student will need to move their car if they park in lot K. There will be barriers that will be popping up probably Thursday. So by Thursday, they just need to move their car. If they have a general parking pass, they have other options to park in other lots throughout the course of the weekend. And that is listed on their pass that they can find details on the parking and transportation website. Great question. Can you bring more than one car? Yeah, go for it. If you're like, I want to stay late, but my partner or my student goes to bed at 7 p.m. like I do, fine. And you can bring 2 cars. Just make sure you have parking passes for both of them. For Mason Madness, you do not need a wristband. It is an open public event. We just include it in our family weekend schedule. So if you are only planning on going to Mason Madness Friday night, and then are checking in Saturday morning for the rest of family weekend, please feel free to go to or to Mason Madness without the family weekend wristband. You will need a wristband to attend every other event hosted in family weekend that is being hosted by our office. So just want to make sure that you all are aware of that. Okay, now I'm done talking. So again, want to thank Annabelle and Mackenzie for all their incredible hard work. We've been working, as you can see, very, very hard to make sure this weekend is very special for you and your families. And we hope that you all have a blast, and we will see you there Friday morning, ready to rock. We'll be rocking our green polos and making sure that if you have any questions on site, that you have people to go to. But with that, Annabelle, I don't know if you have anything else for these lovely folks, but.
Nope, you about covered it. Thank you for coming tonight, and we can't wait to see you in a week.